A crew lead in Calgary pulled a harness off the rack and clipped in for a steel erection job 12 meters up. The harness looked fine. The buckles clicked. What he didn't check was the fall indicator, a small tag near the dorsal D-ring that deploys after a fall. His was deployed. He worked an entire shift in a harness that should have been destroyed. Falls from heights are the #1 killer on Canadian construction sites. In BC alone, WorkSafe BC issued over $1 million in fall protection penalties in 2024, 152 fines. And in Alberta, OHS penalties hit $10,000 per day per violation. A 5-minute inspection is the cheapest insurance you'll ever carry. We're going to walk through the 7-point pre-use inspection, the same check required under CSAZ 259.10. And most crews miss point number 6. It's the one that gets people killed. Point 1, webbing and straps. Grab the webbing with both hands about 15 centimeters apart. Bend it into an inverted U and run your fingers along both sides, the outer surface and the body side. You're looking for cuts, fraying, broken fibers. They show up as little tufts on the surface. Check for abrasion wear, UV fading, chemical stains, and any heat or burn damage. Work through every strap. Shoulder straps, chest strap, leg straps, subpelvic strap, and back strap. UV radiation will break down synthetic webbing over a single Alberta summer. A harness stored in a truck bed for 6 months through an Edmonton winter and a Calgary summer may not pass this check, even if it's brand new. Point 2, stitching. Check all stitching, especially at connection points where straps meet hardware, loose threads, pulled stitches, or cut stitching. Most harnesses use contrast-colored thread specifically so damage is visible. If you see white thread poking through orange stitching, that's load-bearing thread exposed. Flag it. Point 3, D-rings. Inspect every D-ring, dorsal, sternal, and side. Check for cracks, bends, corrosion, or sharp edges. The dorsal D-ring is your primary fall arrest attachment point. It must sit between your shoulder blades. Make sure each D-ring pivots freely. If one is frozen in place from corrosion or debris, that harness is off the site. Point 4, buckles and adjusters. Check every buckle, tongue buckle, pass-through, or quick connect. Buckle tongues must fit snugly into grommets. Quick connects must click and lock positively. No wiggle, no give. Check the roller buckles for smooth operation. And here's one most people miss, elongated grommet holes. If the hole is stretched out from repeated use, the tongue can slip under load. That's a retirement trigger. Point 5, labels and markings. Every CSA-approved harness carries a permanent label. Manufacturer name, model, serial number, manufacture date, the applicable standard, CSAZ 259.10-18, and weight capacity. If that label is missing, illegible, or the manufacture date can't be read, the harness is done. Without the label, you can't verify the standard, track service life, or confirm the weight rating. No label, no work. Point 6, the fall indicator. This is the one. Most modern harnesses have a small flag or tag stitched near the dorsal D-ring. It deploys when the harness absorbs fall arrest forces. If that indicator is deployed, the harness has already been in a fall, and it must be destroyed. Not repaired, not re-inspected, destroyed. This is the single most commonly missed inspection point in the field. It's what that crew lead in Calgary didn't check. It takes 2 seconds to look for. And it's the difference between a working harness and a piece of equipment that's already failed once. Point 7, padding and keepers. Check shoulder and leg padding for compression, tearing, or detachment. And make sure every strap keeper, those small loops that hold excess webbing, is in place. Loose webbing snags on structure and equipment. It's not just comfort, it's a catch hazard at height. Here's the part most crews get confused on. There's no universal expiration date stamped on fall protection equipment. CSA doesn't mandate a specific service life in years. Most manufacturers say 5 years from first use, not date of manufacture. But 5 things trigger immediate retirement, no matter the age. 1, any fall arrest event, the harness is done. In BC, OHS Regulation Section 11.10 requires removal from service. 2, visible damage, cuts, burns, chemical damage, corrosion. 3, manufacturer service life exceeded. 4, labels missing or illegible. And 5, unknown history. If you can't verify when it was made, who used it, or what it's been through, it's gone. And one more thing. Inspecting isn't enough if you don't document it. Core and C-Core audits require documented evidence that fall protection equipment is inspected and maintained. If an auditor asks for your records and you hand them a blank binder, that's a finding. Date, inspector name, equipment serial number, pass or fail. Every shift. 5 minutes of checking, 30 seconds of paperwork. That's it. That's your 7-point harness inspection. Webbing and straps, stitching, D-rings, buckles and adjusters, labels and markings, the fall indicator, padding and keepers. Every shift. Before you clip in, 5 minutes. Not sure if your crew's fall protection equipment is actually being inspected every shift? SEAI checks your inspection records, flags overdue equipment, and catches gaps before the auditor does. Links in the description. Subscribe for the next 5-minute safety check. We're covering confined space entry next.